Hey, today we're talking about coffee. You love it, I love it, we all need it. What's coffee? Espresso? What's the difference? What's the origin? Stay tuned. Okay, so I'm so happy you're with me today. So, what is the origin of coffee and espresso? Well, coffee and espresso are all coffee, and they come from coffee beans, and there is no such thing as an espresso bean. No, it's in the roast. The difference between what you're thinking, maybe drip coffee, a pour over, maybe a French press, it's in the roast, the way you're roasting the beans, the coffee beans, generally speaking, but it does not need to be. Generally speaking, an espresso roast is darker, does not have to be. And for coffee, what you're thinking, more drip coffee, if you will, is a lighter roast, but it does not need to be that either. However, what a big difference is in the grind. So you roast them, like I have here, an espresso roast, no such thing as espresso beans, right? Okay, just the roast. And it's in the grind. So for espresso, it is a very fine grind, and that's for the processing, which I'll tell you in a moment. Whereas more of the drip coffee, if you will, it's a little coarser, and that can vary too, depending on French press, pour over, or what. So the difference between what we'll say drip coffee and espresso is the roast, the grind, and now here we go with the process of how you put water through the grind. Yes, okay, these are filtered coffees. Espresso is not filtered, and it is put through, water is put through the fine grind at a very high pressure, and that gives us espresso. Okay, so you know all about coffee. We've been drinking coffee for centuries, absolutely centuries. But how long have we been drinking espresso? Well, actually not that long. The Italians created espresso in the late 1800s. And by the Milan Fair of 1906, they had an espresso machine, if you will. And it heated up the water really hot, and it had a little bit of pressure, about 1.5 bars of atmospheric pressure, and that's how we measure it. And you say, okay, Heidi, what's a bar of atmospheric pressure? Well, that means the pressure at sea level on Earth. What is the atmospheric pressure on Earth at sea level? Is 1 bar. Okay, so it was just a little bit more than that in early days, but the Italians, what was wrong with the drip coffee or a pour over or something? Why were they needed this? Well, espresso in Italian literally means express. They needed something quick, because making this coffee, and by now in the early 1900s, coffee is huge. We are all drinking it. We all love it around the world by now, and we want it fast. We want it fast. And if you go to your favorite coffee bar, it took too long to get everybody their coffee. So the Italians came up with an express way to make coffee. It's espresso. So they made these machines, and then they kept getting better and better. And then after World War II, Gaggia created what really became the sort of the modern day espresso machine, and it kept evolving from there. But the Gaggia machine actually had a lever, and you would pull down this lever to send this hot water, about 90 degrees centigrade is perfect, through about 9 atmospheres of pressure. That's a lot of pressure, and that really extracted this fine, what we call espresso. And so the term today, you'll hear people say pull a shot of espresso. It comes from that Gaggia machine back right after World War II, and it kept getting better and better and better, the machines. And then today you don't see the levers so much. So, but that's where the saying came from. So 9 atmospheres of pressure. Well, yeah, you know, you can have a home machine. Maybe you have something else that it'll say, maybe mine goes up to 15 or 19 bars. Yes, just for a moment, and it comes back down. But how much 9 bars of atmospheric pressure? To put that into perspective, when you have a chilled bottle of champagne and you open that and that cork flies off, never pointed at anybody, that's about 6 atmospheres of pressure. 6 in a champagne bottle, and we're talking 9 plus for this beautiful espresso, because what do we get with that? We get this extracted, beautiful cup of coffee with this crema. Yes, it's all about the crema, and we love it, right? Yes, we do. Okay, so you know, there's so much etiquette involved when you're going to Italy and you're at a beautiful coffee bar and you're standing there drinking your coffee, and we can do that in another video. Drop me a comment if you'd like to go all through the culture of espresso in Italy. That's a whole video. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so now you're asking me, Heidi, what about caffeine? Okay, now we understand espresso. It is the roast, it's the grind, and it's the pressure. How is it the water going through the coffee grinds? Okay, that's the difference. And I should mention too that espresso is served in a demi-tasse cup. Demi-tasse is the name of the cup. It's French. Demi means half. Toss the cup, so it's half a cup. So serve it in a demi-tasse cup. And there you go. So now you're saying caffeine, because that's what I need, right? I need it. What's the difference between caffeine? Well, let me just tell you, per volume, there's more caffeine in a shot of espresso, but it's a little more complicated. Okay, so 1 ounce of espresso, that has about 64 milligrams of caffeine. 1 ounce of coffee, we'll say drip coffee, has about 12. Okay, 12 milligrams. So, okay, espresso more, right? More, but who the heck drinks 1 ounce of coffee? Not me. Fill her up. I want 8. Well, 8 ounces makes my coffee with 96 milligrams of caffeine versus 64 here. So it depends. So you see, so it depends which has more caffeine per volume. The espresso. So I hope this helps. Was a little bit of fun for you. I know I love my coffee any way I can get it. And drop me a comment. What do you think? Like the video. Please subscribe. And as I always say, everyone, please be kind. Thank you.